In this video, we will look at how to add a stepping function to the load. We are going to reuse the existing 3D analysis command file that we generated previously. We'll change nothing except add a stepping function to the loads. Instead of force Z, which we used in 3D analysis, we are going to add two more forces, force X and force Y, both with the magnitude of 2000 newtons. Then we are going to add a stepping function to it. The stepping function will be applied such. In the first step, only force X is used or applied. In the second step, only force Y. On the third step, force Z. In the fourth step, both force X and force Y are applied. In the fifth step, both force Y and force Z are applied. In the sixth step, force X and Z are applied. And in the seventh step, all three forces are applied. This can be visualized clearly with a graph. As you can see here, in the first step, only force X is applied. On the second step, only force Y, force Z, both force X and force Y and force Z, force X and force Z, and in the last step, all three forces. If you haven't started Efficient already, start it. Here, we are not going to create a new command file. Instead, we are going to open a command file. Here, let's go to the place where we have saved all the command files. Click on 3danalysis.com that we had created earlier and click on Open. The file will be opened with the information present here. The material information is here. Element type information, as we don't need for 3D analysis, is not there. Boundary condition is present and load is present. Here we can see that force Z is already shown here. Let's add two more forces. Force X, which is again force on face, and it is assigned to the same face load. That force will be, Fx will be 4 because it's of the same magnitude. Click on Add and similarly add force Y is assigned to load and force Y of 4. Click on Add. Once we have added all the three forces, let's move over to the right hand side where we can add load stepping function. You can see all the three forces, force X, Y, and Z, are already in this drop-down list. This list is populated based on the information on the left-hand side. For load stepping function name, we'll keep it very simple. We want to have a load stepping function for force X, so we'll name it as force X underscore S. Keep in mind that the characters should be less than 8. We are perfectly under 8, so that's fine. Load name is force X, which you have to select it from this drop-down list. From the left-hand side of the function, we'll keep it as constant, and the right-hand side function will again keep it as constant. To have a more understanding of what this left and right side of function mean, you have to refer to Code::Aster documents. For the load step pair, if you highlight your cursor over here, it gives you information of how to add load stepping function. Here, for step 1, force X is, the magnitude is 1, so the full magnitude has to be applied. For step 2, it is 0, so no force X. Same for step 3. For step 4, force X and force Y are applied. Step 5, 0. Step 6, 1. And step 7, 1. So what this means is that in step 1, I'll consult over here. In step 1, force X is there. For step 2, there is no force X. For step 3, again, there is no force X. For step 4, we have a force X. We have a force Y as well, but that would be added in the stepping function of force Y. For step 5, we can see that there is no force X required because it is only Y and Z. For step 6, it is force X and Z, and so we have written 1 over here, and for step 7, it is 1. We will click on Add Step, and that stepping function will be added. Let's add similar stepping function for force Y. We'll select force Y, and we'll perform the same thing. For step 1, force Y is 0. For step 2 is 1, 3, 0, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 0, and 7, 1. Click on Add Step. And next we are going to add stepping function for force Z. 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 1, 4, 0, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1. We'll click on Add Step. These stepping functions have been added to the command file now. The output still remains same, so we don't need to change it. I'll save this command file and give it a name, force or load stepping function. I'll save this command file, and let's go and have a look at how does this command file look like. Load stepping function. Here we can see that force X, Y, and Z all have a magnitude of 4. And here you go. The stepping functions have been added here. And they have been also added in the excite function of the result in mechastatic. Use this command file in one of the finite element analysis of your own and have a look how the results come out.